I'm not sure if I want to go smooth.
Well, feel free to let them. Order! Order in the court. The Honorable Hiram Bull presiding. Let the first defendant come to the bar. Oh, a thief, huh? He stole $1. 1 year probation. Huh. Nice defendant, come up. Ah, a thief, huh? He stole $1 million. I sentence you to 2 appearances on the Donahue Show to explain why celebrities steal. Ah, our third thief. He stole $1 trillion. I sentence you to 6 months hard labor at the Pentagon. Court dismissed. Well, I wanted to talk about Caroline, huh? Justice. Justice. Do we have any other crimes to be adjudicated here in this court? No? Good, because I'm out here. I wanted to talk a little about Caroline Kennedy. I met Caroline Kennedy on 3 separate occasions, and she's going to sue my ass off if she ever sees this, but it seems unlikely. I mean, look at this teeming mass, this roiling swell of people. Christ.
I'll tell her.
Oh, okay, you tell her, because I know that you know all the big celebrities, you know. Mike here, he's indexed in Andy Warhol's diary about 50 times. I think the latest issue of Spy, if you want to get the lowdown on Mike Higgins. Yeah, I met Caroline Kennedy 3 times. The first time was when I was a freshman in college, and can we have less music? Thanks. Yeah. I mean, isn't that kind of an arrogant theme song? Oh, 5 years ahead of my time, but it beats voices green and purple all around my head. Yeah. So anyway, I'm getting back to Caroline. I met her when I was a freshman in college, and she was sitting next to this tall black woman. And I had this friend named Whitney Schmidt, who, as his name might indicate, later went on to become a corporation lawyer. And he said to me, he had a sort of like, limpy kind of way of talking, but actually he was an active heterosexual, and I don't mean to characterize anybody on the basis of their behavior. But anyway, Whitney says, don't look now, but here comes the princess. I thought he was talking about the tall black woman. I thought she was an African princess, some sort of Nubian goddess. So, I was really eager to meet her, so I sort of like sat my fat ass down next to the 2 of them, something I'd ordinarily never do. And I said, oh, hi, how are you? Hey, can I sit with you? And Caroline sort of looks at me, and she was kind of pudgy, and she went, I don't think so. And I said, well, fuck you! And then Whitney, scandalized, do you know who that was? Do you know who that was? I said, I don't care. The second time I met her was, I guess a sophomore or a junior in college. I was hanging out with a neoconservative crowd. They used to always say things like, that's not nice, and they were like snickering, at other people's misfortunes while they were doing it. I guess to be a neoconservative, you sort of had to be a little bit of a sadist. Well, anyway, they used to pal around with the Kennedys. Guilty! All right, no, actually, I'm a masochist. What am I doing up here otherwise? So, anyway, I sat down with her, and, at dinner, and my best friend, and this is back when I was still young enough to have a best friend, he was telling her all about Irish folklore and mythology, which was his specialty, and she was sort of sitting there drinking in every word, like a good Kennedy. And I was like playing this little game I used to like to play called Spin the Knife. And she said to me, her eyes swimming over, would you please stop pointing that knife at me? The third, traumatized by the tragic death of her father, and then this unshaven lout, with 3 days of growth, hair down to his ass, threatening her with a butter knife. And the third time was, we had just graduated from college, and we saw her walking down the street in Harvard Square, and me and a couple of other friends followed her and began serenading her with a Beach Boys song. Oh, Carolina, you break my heart. And she did break my heart, damn it. I wanted to go out with Caroline Kennedy, but I knew that any person with an O at the end of his name would never get to go out with Caroline Kennedy. Like I really give a shit. Well, anyway, this is the audience interactive part of the set. I try to do this just like, you know, to make it like a homey, cozy, chummy sort of open mic, as opposed to all the vicious hostile.
It's not working.
It's not working. All right, how about I just cough a gob of phlegm onto the rug, huh? Yeah, okay. Can someone give me an occupation? I like to demonstrate occupational stress. You're seeing it in action, but I like to try my hand at some other types of occupational stress. Librarian. God damn those fucking Asians! They don't put their goddamn Asian weeks back in the goddamn rack where it belongs. They always leave the goddamn news weeks out in the barrel. They don't know how to alphabetize anything. That's librarian for you. And I should know. Because that's what I happen to be. You know, kids today, I don't know what to think about them, because you walk up to some little kid and you say, little boy, what do you want to do when you grow up? And the little kid goes, I won't kill you. Yeah. So I don't know, man. The media is sending real mixed messages, but I'd like to get back to that later. I thought of a nifty gimmick. You know, back in 1980, I was hanging out with all these people with unidentified flying idea. They were a bunch of hippies. They all fell into the clutches of Doc Humes, who wrote these two unreadable novels in the 1940s and proposed to the army that the cure for heroin addiction is, get this, hashish and massage. Well, they tried their best to live up to this. They had a little storefront on Magazine Street called UFI, which stood for Unidentified Flying Idea, and they used to invite ex-convicts in there and, you know, give them back rubs and let them smoke little hash joints. This is all true. They even gave back rubs to Cambridge City Hall. Blue here, a longtime Cambridge resident, will testify to this, on cable no less. Yeah. And, well, I was thinking, gee, wouldn't it be great to walk up to a policeman and do this? He'd probably arrest you, and if you started actually giving him a back rub, he'd probably shoot you. Wow, I got high just doing that. Wow. Here's a handy hint for all you people who are concerned about drug testing in the workforce. Diet Mountain Dew has the same pH as urine. Kind of makes you want to go out and buy a case of Mountain Dew now, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, you know, I was reading The Nation, that communist rag, and, well, no, actually, I like The Nation. They were talking about something called drug capitalism. You're not going to be able to solve this drug crisis as long as inner city ghetto people can only make a living through selling street drugs, or as the Herald refers to them, cheap drugs. You know, as though the cheapness of the drug has anything to do with its potency. Oh, by the way, keep a lookout for crystal meth in smokable form. It's going to hit the market very soon if it hasn't already. It's already ravished Hawaii. Just say crack, that cheap, highly addictive substance. It gives a 20-minute high, but crystal meth, 8 hours, and you're like, whoa. Well, you know, of course, I smoke crack, but my secret is I don't inhale. But anyway, getting back to drug capitalism, gee, maybe they should just make, you know, drugs the unit of currency. You know, a joint 50 cents and, you know, a rock $1. I mean, isn't it already? I don't know. Andy Warhol in his diary said that people on drugs notice everything. Well, it's kind of true. I mean, oh wow, man, look at how that vomit glitters, you know. Yeah, what would you say if there was a substance which is peddled to 90% of the public by 10% of the public, and that 90% of the public spends 8 hours a day doing this substance, and the 10% which peddles it profits enormously? Now, would you want to execute these people? Because, you know, there are television programmers. I don't know, think piece, you know. I fed my dog tarantula chow, and now he hides in carloads full of bananas. I'm auditioning for a play. It's called The Man Who Would Be Elvis. I figure I'm a cinch for the part because I've already got 8 drugs in my body. Yeah, you know, I'm my own worst enemy. Not only that, but it's me versus the world. You can tell because you can see me in Kenmore Square waving a gun and calling the world a punk and daring it to get me, you know. I don't know. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to get popsicle sticks and sharpen them against the curb and threaten to take my own lunch money. I leave messages on my answering machine. If you don't come down to the old warehouse at midnight, you'll never see yourself again. And just to spite myself, I don't show up. And I hate my parents, and at my wedding, I gave myself away. I also fucked the maid of honor, also me.